Hi, welcome back to Tic Tac Toe Clojurescript. Now, we're going to finish this off by creating the game module, which is also going to include the user interface. Alright, so let's start with the test. Spec, game spec, CLJ. While I have this up, I might as well start up the auto testing. Okay, and we're going to start with the namespace TTT game spec. And we need to import the usual stuff, the speckles, .core, refer, describe, context, it should equal, and should. Actually, we're not going to use context, but I think we will be using before for this. Okay. And then we need to require speckles. All right, we also need to get game, and I'm just going to leave this blank for now so we can start. Okay, our first test, well, before we do the test, before we do the test, I'm going to have a before. And before each of the tests, I'm going to call init, and init will set up the DOM. It'll place the HTML and set all the event handling so then we can actually run some tests. The first test is make sure that position, the current position is available. So it has the current position. So I'm going to have that as should equal initial position. I need to do IP as init position. Okay, so initial position position is, I'm going to be getting that from TTT game. Okay, and also I need init position because that's coming from TTT position. All right, so this should fail because I don't even have a game.clj file. So I'm going to start creating it. But before I do, I noticed that these results are coming a little bit long and I'm not able to see the error. So I'm going to modify this so that instead of using documentation, it's going to use progress. Okay. And when I save this, now it should be shorter and I can see the error. Okay, so the error is no TTT, so I'm going to say source game CLJ. The namespace is TTT game. I'm just going to leave this blank for now because we don't know what we're going to need to import. But I know that we have init. I'll just make it blank for now. Also, it's looking for position, so I need to have that. So def position as no. All right, let's see what the error is. The error is undefined TTT game spec init. Okay, so that's because from the game I need to also import init. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we don't have any more compile errors, it's just the failure. Failure is that the position is not set, so we'll set the position. So going back to the game, we're going to say, oh, we're going to have to import stuff. So require from TTT position, I need to have initial position. So I'm going to set the position to be the initial position. Okay, so that should make the test pass. I'm expecting it to pass. Great. The next test we're going to do is make sure that there is a board. It has TTT table. Okay, and we're going to do that by using the DOM. And there are libraries to include the DOM, and we need to include that first. So let's open up the project. So this is the file that was part of the original template. So it's missing some stuff. So I'm going to add Domina and also hiccups. Okay, we're going to need both of these. But I also need the version numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Google and go to Clojures and search for Domina. And Domina is 101. So that would be 101. Let's see what Clojure for hiccups is. It's 020. So hiccups is 020. And once we change the project file, we just need to restart the auto build. Okay, so we can get rid of this. Okay, so we haven't written any tests for this table as, but it will look something like, well, it will look exactly like this. DOM by ID TTT table, and this will return the element. And to test the existence of this, I'm just going to say should. Okay, so this should exist. Okay, but it's going to fail because it doesn't know what DOM is, and I'm going to add the DOM right now. Domina as DOM. Okay, so we have a failure, and we need to go back to the source, and we're going to add that. We're going to add that using DOM set HTML. CSS cell body. So this is the CSS selector, and it's going to choose the body. I'm going to have to import this. So first we import Domina as DOM, and we need to import domina.css as CSS. All right, so this should, actually we haven't set anything yet. So we're going to add HTML. H is going to be hiccup. So hiccups is actually macro. So it's going to be require macros hiccups as H. Okay. So we say, actually we give it a square bracket as a vector, and we give it a div with the ID of TTT table. Okay, this should be enough for it to pass. That's what I'm expecting. Oh, it doesn't know about hiccups because it's not hiccups, it's hiccups.core. Okay, alias H already exists in namespace. I think when this happens, there's a little corruption that's going on, especially if you change the project file. So it's best to do a clean to get rid of everything. When it's done, I'll just run the auto again and see if the error still exists. I guess the first time it compiles it, it takes a while. Okay, so everything passes. So that's exactly what the problem was. Is that there's a little bit of confusion and you just needed to clean it. Okay, so it passed the test. So we're going to go to the second test, which is does it have any cells? Okay, so it has cells. Okay, and it'll look like say should DOM by ID it's going to look like T0, and instead of listing all 9 of these, I'm just going to list the first and the last, and that should be good enough. So if I save this, it's going to fail because there is no T0 through T8, and I'll just do it over here. But I'll create a for loop. For loop, the index going from 0 through size. I have to import the size. And what else do I need to do? Oh, because I'm having a for loop inside of the hiccups HTML, I need to import something else. I need to import hiccups runtime. And that should be good. Oh, I have nothing inside that for loop. So let's put something in there. And it's going to be a div with the class of cell. And instead of doing the ID like the way I did TTT table, I'm going to use attributes. Like when you put curly braces, these anything inside are attributes of it. So the attribute is ID. The reason why is because I'm building a string. It starts with a T and has the index at the end. So now I would have 9 cells like this. Okay, I'm expecting everything to pass, and it seems like everything is passing, which is good. Let's actually see this because it's hard to see what's going on when everything is so abstract like this. So I'm going to go to the public, create an index.html, and script source is JavaScript ttt.js, and I need a script and call init, actually ttt.game.init. Okay, save. Actually, nothing will happen. But one thing that I do need is when I'm calling init from my HTML file, I need to export this. Otherwise, you may have a hard time finding it because of the compiler would minimize the resulting JavaScript, and so some of the names may be stripped away to like 1 character or 2. So this guarantees that this name is going to be preserved. So I save, and okay, I think I have enough here so I can actually open it. So open public index.html, and you're going to see nothing. But if you look at the elements at the bottom over here, you see that there is a TTT table, and there are 9 cells. Okay, which is really great. But because we can't see them, let's create some CSS for them. So for the dot cell, I'm going to say border 1 pixel solid black. Okay, and I'm going to change the width. Actually, the width to be 100 pixels, height to be 100 pixels, and I'm going to say float left. Okay, so this is a good start, and I'm going to copy this over to a CSS file. So open public. Actually, I'll make a directory under public called CSS, and edit public CSS ttt.css. So I just paste that. Okay, so everything looks good. And if I reload, it went away because I need to modify the HTML so that it includes the CSS. So I'll put a header, call it TTT, put a link here for a style sheet, and it's under CSS, ttt.css. Okay, So that should pick up, and it does pick up the CSS, which is good. The next thing we're going to do is modify the Tic Tac Toe table, TTT table. I'm going to set the width to be, if I put it as 300, it's not enough. The reason why is because the border takes up 1 pixel. And so there are 2 of them, 1 for each side. So that would be 306. And that's what I want. So in my CSS, I'm going to have the TTT table set the width to be 306 pixels. Okay. And let's see if I reload this page, everything is fine. So this is this looks really good. And let's go back to the tests. Okay. So we have a position, we have the table, we have the cells. Now we have to do event handling. So I'm going to click on the first square. So it marks the first square. Okay. So I'm going to trigger an event by doing, I haven't imported this, so I'm going to say event something. So that's part of Domina.events as event. Okay, so event/dispatch, and this is how you trigger an event. You're going to event it. You're going to trigger the event on an element, and that element is going to be that square. So it's going to be dom by id t0. So I'm going to click on the t0, a click, and I'm going to pass no information. So it's an empty curly braces. So I've clicked on the first one, and now I set my expectation. The expectation is should equal x, and I get the dom HTML of dom.byid t0. So t0's HTML should now contain an x. All right, so I'll save, and it's not going to pass because I haven't written any code yet. Okay, let's go back here and do that. Okay, so you see that it didn't pass. Was expecting an x but got nothing. And let's go fix that. So let's go to source, and we set the event handling here. Okay, so we have to listen. Actually, it's coming from event, and I have to import event. Domina.events as event. Okay. So event/listen. Okay, we're listening for this event on each of those cells. So I'm just going to say cell here and wrap this up in a let, and let cell be dom by id t of index, and we're going to be running through each of the index. So I'm going to wrap this in a do seek index ranging from 0 through size. Okay, and okay, so we have size imported. We have we have event. Okay, so I think we're all good. So okay, to finish this off, we're going to listen on the cell for a click, and when that happens, we're going to call this function, and that function will do a set HTML. Actually, that's from the DOM. A set HTML on the cell with an X, but I'm not going to put an X over here. Instead, I'm going to get the turn from the current position. But this returns a symbol, and when you're dealing with these event handling, it's expecting a string, so I'm going to convert this into a string. All right. So this is saying I have my event handling set up, and let's see if it passes the test. Oh, wrong number of arguments. TTT game. All right, so 19. Wrong number of. Oh, that's because That's because I have IDX over here like this. That's not where it belongs. It should just be like this. All right, so let's try this again. Okay, it looks much better. Okay, it still has a problem. Okay, it's still not working. So, oh, the reason why is because, okay, now I remember why that index was there, because of this. Because I forgot to do it this way, IDX. So it's the ID isn't T, it's going to be T0, T1, and so I need to build a string from that. Okay, so I had a typo and I corrected it incorrectly, and now everything passes. That's great. So going back to the test, it marks the first square. Some other things that it should do is uh, it should update the okay, so okay, it updates the position, the current position, after a click. So in other words, it actually makes a move. So I'm going to do the same dispatch on T0, a click. Okay, I guess I could have copied this from the other one. And the thing I'm testing is the okay, the current position. So this is the current position, and I am going to extract the board from it. I'm just going to test extracting the board, and I'm looking at is it a soak? I think. Oh, it's just get. Let me see how like get works. I forget which um, line REPL. So if I have something like, I think it's get, and then you have a list, A, B, C, and then a number like 1, that should give me a B. Yeah. So, okay, the index goes last. So get from the board 0, and that should equal, okay, should equal X. Okay, so let's see. This should fail because we didn't write the code for it. And okay, that's what it says. So we'll okay, we'll fix that. Okay, so the position has to be updated. So let's go to that function and wrap this in a do. So when you wrap it in a do, you're able to have multiple statements. Okay, so this is the first statement. The second statement is set position to be, and we make a move on the position, the index associated with the square. And we need to import move. We don't want to go through the error cycle for that. Oh, it passes. Great. Okay, so we moved. The next thing is we want to trigger a computer to move. All right, so let's do that. So okay, it makes the computer move after human clicks. Okay, so it's the same click, but I'm not really sure where the computer is going to pick. So I'm going to force it by setting up a position. So I'm going to set the position to be something winnable, XX dash dash 00 dash dash dash, and the turn is X. Okay, So it's X's turn, X makes a move. Actually, this should be blank. And let's say that X makes a move right here. So that's what this event dispatch does, is puts an X right here, and the computer should find the best move, and the best move is to put an O over here, which causes a win. So that is position 3. So after this move, I'm going to look for should equal O, actually O, and get board position, see, 3. So that's the third position. That says that the position should be updated as well as the mark. And I'm going to test for the mark like so. And I'm looking for an O on T3 because it's so the move should have been made and it should have been marked. So that's what that's doing. So let's take a look. It's gonna fail because I haven't caused the computer to move, and I think this is this the failure? Expected O got dash. Okay. So let's go fix that. So here I am going to do computer move, and the computer moves by calling the best move. So let the index be the best move given the position. And so I'm going to do 2 things with it. One is update the position. Okay, so that makes a move. The second thing I'm going to do is mark the position. So this marks, well, not the cell. It would be, I would have to fetch the cell. It'd be dom by ID, starting with a T, and it's the index. So, well, I hope this doesn't lead to confusion, but there are 2 indexes, one over here and another one in this let. So I think maybe what would be good is if I just extracted this into a different computer move and moved it up here. So defin computer move and put it right there. Okay, just join these. Okay, so this updates the position, marks the position. Let's see if it passes. Everything looks good. Oh, big failure. What's it failing on? Best move, because I need to import best move. Oh, I almost made a mistake. Because best move comes from the engine, not the position. Engine, refer best move. Okay. All right. Interesting. Makes the computer move. So it found an X in that position. Instead, let's see what's going on here. Okay, so it's X's turn. The human clicks, so then it's O's turn. And then the computer should have made a move. So this is the third position, so that should have worked. All right. So I think what might be good is to actually play with it to see what's going on, because it's hard to see it when it's all logical like this. So I think, okay, so I should be able to, okay, reload and click. If I click here, I should see an X. I do see an X. But when the computer moves, the computer also, oh, the computer makes a move, but it's an X. Okay, so let's see what's going on. That means that the turn is not being updated properly. See why. Okay. Oh, because the position is set before the computer makes the move. So this should be swapped. The computer should make the move, and then we should just update the the mark and the position. So that's what the problem is. So let's see if the test passes now. If it does, we're pretty much done. Okay, it's taking a little bit of time to finish compiling. Oh, there's failures. Okay. Okay. There's quite a bit of failures here. Let's see what's going on here. If I click on a square, it starts with an O. Interesting. O. All right, so let's see what's going on. Oh, no, this is correct. I need to have the computer move after the human moves. Okay, this is correct. Okay, so this is the correct behavior, and I update the position. Oh, this is where I have it swapped, because I want to update the position after I make the move. Okay, so I need to swap these. Okay, so let me see if it passes. Does take some time. Oh, look at that. Everything passes. Let's take a look at the game now. If I press here, I get an X, the computer does an O. The font looks terrible, so let's go to the cell and say font size to be 4M and the text align to be center. Yes, that looks a lot better. So I'll add that to the CSS. Okay, so it was font size to be 4M and text align is center. Okay, so we reload. I click. Oh, okay. I click over here. I block. Hey, okay. Let's play another game. Start there. Computer goes there. I'll just go. Let's say here, and okay. So we have a good program here now, and let me do that. Block and block here, block there, and I could play a whole bunch of times. Oh, it won. I wasn't paying attention, but we can see that this is a working program, and it's working exactly the way we expected it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this little discussion at, well, more like a little lecture on Clojurescript and Tic Tac Toe using TDD. So, well, thanks for stopping by.